Okay, so today I'm going to quickly go through the cosine rule, and before I do, I just want to make a few bullet points. Now, a few bullet points include lowercase letters are sides, so take a note of that. Lowercase letters are sides and uppercase letters are angles. Now, the same letters are directly opposite each other, okay? For example, if this is angle A, this is going to be side A, okay? If this is angle B, this is going to be side B, and if this is angle C, this is going to be side C, okay? Now, the main formula for the cosine rule is the formula for a missing side, okay? So in the cosine rule, you may get a missing side or you may get a missing angle. Now, to start off with, the main formula is a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A, okay? Now, this is the main formula for when you have a missing side, okay? So you just substitute your values in. Now, however, what is the formula for when we have a missing angle? This formula can be rearranged to make A the subject, okay? So let's rearrange it. First, I'm going to add 2bc cosine A on both sides. Add 2bc cosine A. And I'm left with a squared plus 2bc cosine A is equal to b squared plus c squared. Okay? The next thing I'll do is I'll subtract a squared from both sides, and I'm left with 2bc cosine A is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared. Okay? Now, because I want to work out the missing angle, I'm going to get rid of 2bc and I'll divide it by 2bc on both sides, leaving me with cosine A is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc. Now, in any rule, in any angle rule, whenever I'm working out a missing angle, whether it's the cosine rule or the sine rule, area of a triangle or trig, I'm always going to do shift. So in my calculator, I'm going to do shift cosine, b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc, which will equal to your missing angle. Okay, so this here is the main formula for missing angles. Okay, so remember the main formula for missing side is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A. And the main formula for missing angles is cosine, shift cosine, b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc. Okay, now let's go through a few examples. Now in this triangle here, I have a missing side. So I'm going to label this triangle first. The angle that they've given to me is going to label as A. The side directly opposite is going to be lowercase a, and the other two sides will be b and c. Now I'll write down my formula. A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A. And I'm going to substitute my values into the equation. So I'm going to write a squared is equal to 13 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 multiplied by 13 multiplied by 10 multiplied by cosine 100. And I'm going to plug this into my formula, into my calculator, sorry. Once I plug this into my calculator, I should get a squared is equal to 314.148. Okay? Now bear in mind I'm trying to work out the value of a, not the value of a squared. So I'm going to square root my answer in my calculator, and I should get a is equal to 17.7 to 1 decimal place. Okay? So after I plug it into my calculator and square my answer, I should get 17.7 to 1 decimal place. Another example, okay? I've got a missing side, so I label my angle capital A. The side opposite lowercase a, I've got B and I've got C. I write out my formula. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A. And I substitute my values into this equation. So a squared is equal to 15 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 15 times 12 times cosine 20. And I'm going to give you a second to plug this into your calculator. Once you plug this into your calculator, you should get a squared is equal to 30.7106. We are trying to work out the value of a, so we're going to square root our answer in our calculator. And we should get the value of a to give us 5.5 to 1 decimal place. Okay, so you should get 5.5 centimeters to 1 decimal place. So that's how to put the missing side formula into practice. Now let's have a look at how to put the missing angle formula into practice. Now you can see we've got missing angle in this triangle, and our missing angle formula is shift cosine b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc. So I'll write it down. Shift cosine b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc. And I'm going to label my triangle. The angle is always capital A, the side opposite lowercase a, the other two B and C. It doesn't matter which one's which. Now if I substitute my values in, I'll do shift cosine 15 squared plus 16 squared subtract 20 squared divided by 2 times 15 times 16. Plug it straight into my calculator. Always remember to do shift when you're working out missing angle, and you should get your missing angle to be 80.3 degrees to 1 decimal place. Okay, now let's have a go at the next question. So in this question again, I'm working out a missing angle, this one here. So I'm going to do shift cosine. I'm going to do shift cosine b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc in my calculator. The angle given is capital A, the side opposite is lowercase a, and the other two sides are B and C. I'm going to substitute my values in, so I'm going to do shift cosine 21 squared plus 13 squared take away 24 squared divided by 2 times 21 times 13. Plug this into my calculator. Make sure I do shift cosine in my calculator, and I should get 86.4 degrees to 1 decimal place. Okay? So all you need to know for the cosine rule is the main two formulas, a squared plus b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a for missing side, and for missing angle, shift cosine b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc. And this is how you put it into practice when it comes to exam style questions. Okay, thank you.